Good morning. Good morning. I'm Dorothy Holmes, and I am your worship associate today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Our esteemed minister, Reverend Lisa Doege, is our worship leader for this morning. Our worship, religious education, and covenant group theme for March is the practice of trust, a capacity all of us need to continue to develop and practice at this time. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we are working to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of people of all races, genders, sexual orientations, abilities, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and here in the sanctuary, whoever you know yourself to be and wherever you are on your journey. If you're visiting with us this morning and you would like to introduce yourself, please rise or raise your hand. Jane Rago, one of our ushers, will bring a microphone to you. As part of our commitment to accessibility, we use microphones whenever anyone speaks so that everyone in the sanctuary and watching on YouTube can hear. Are there any visitors on this side of the sanctuary?
Good morning. My name is Mignon Dobbins, and I am the Director of Choirs at Reagan High School in Pufftown, North Carolina. And I have 43 choral students with me and 10 chaperones, and we've been touring Savannah all weekend, and it's been just lovely. I'm also the music director at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I know your music director from way before that. So we're delighted to be here. Thank you so much for welcoming us.
Welcome.
We are Richard and Pierre. We live in Vermont. This is our 5th time coming to the service here over 5 years. And that's our story.
Welcome. Anyone on this side of the sanctuary?
Hi, my name is Rebecca Wilson. I bring greetings from the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg, Florida.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Good Savannah morning to everybody. My name is Michael Trudeau. I am visiting from Michigan, and I am a former member of the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Traverse City, Michigan.
Welcome. Well, if you are looking for a new faith community, all right.
What Pierre didn't say was that we're members of the Woodstock Unitarian Church in Woodstock, Vermont.
Very well, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. If you are looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit with us several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It's good to have y'all with us, just to try a little southern thing. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You'll find Ron Hall in the next building by following the crowd through this door around here, or the main doors, or ask one of the ushers. After the story for all ages and after the offering, we sing a short response. The lyrics are printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help you gather information for the good of our community. Use the QR code on the Rainbow Chalice card to sign up for our newsletter and to receive a welcome letter from our minister. Or, if you prefer, fill out the card by hand. The card with the red heart and chalice is there to share a joy or sorrow. If you fill out either of these cards, please put it in the collection plate as it comes around. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Check your email for complete details about all announcements for this week. In troubled and troubling times, all acts of resistance and joy help to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice, no matter the size of the action. During social hour in Ron Hall this morning, you will have the opportunity to proclaim the beauty and power of words and phrases the current administration is attempting to erase from the public sphere. Decorate one or more of the words you'll find on the tables and take it home as a reminder that words matter, or post it somewhere so that others can see its beauty. We are pleased, very pleased, to welcome the Reagan High School Choir from Pofftown, North Carolina. Let's give them a big round of applause. They will make beautiful music for us this morning. Their director is Mignon Dobbins, who also is the director for the UU Fellowship of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. There will be no music with Mr. David after church this morning, which makes him very sad. It's true. But children's music will return next week. Now, I know there's a third announcement that someone asked me to make, and I would ask that someone to stand up because I had forgotten the details. Yeah?
We just wanted to say that the sign-up sheet for the Family Promise dinners are downstairs, and the Family Promise runs from April 6th to the 13th, so if you'd like to sign up for supply run this month,
Thank you. Okay. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Yvette Upton. The chalice lighting words today are taken from When Times Are Dark by Fred Lamott. When times are dark, the way becomes clear. Trust in your breath. Rest in your heart. Bow to the stranger. This is the gospel of astonishment. If we are completely lost, we come home to each other.
Let us reach the place of self, the place that is not alien to truth. Let us wash over with peace and serenity, with fierce longing for light and heart, with living strength flowing in our veins, bringing ourselves into fearlessness and into trust. Come, let us worship together. Will you please rise now in spirit or in body for hymn number 20 in the gray hymnal, Be Thou My Vision. It's time now for our story. Anyone who would like to see the pictures may come forward. Our story this morning is called The Invisible Web. The very best news ever has begun to spread all over the world, one heart at a time. Shout it from the mountaintops. Every single one of us is connected to those we love by invisible strings. That means that Giovanna and her daddy are always together, even though he moved to a new house. Omar can feel the tugs of love from his parents, though he is living far away at school. Mr. Chang still feels Mrs. Chang close by, even though she died such a very long time ago. And you, at this very moment, may feel the string of someone close to you, even though they aren't there. You can't see it, but it's real. Our strings reach to everyone we know. They travel far and wide to family and friends, classmates and coaches, to bus drivers and babysitters, neighbors and pets, to aunts and uncles and grandparents and grandchildren, and countless other people. And all of those people have hundreds of strings. Soaring high over rocky peaks and across the 7 seas, deep into jungles and valleys, and winding through the busiest of cities, all these strings crisscross one another and create a nest that covers the planet, interlacing us together, cradling us forever, the invisible web. The web has no borders and wraps every continent. Within it live butterflies and flowers, starfish and seahorses, lions and ants, rivers and snowstorms, and all human beings, Giovanna, Omar, Mr. Chang, and of course, you and me too. Some say it even reaches to our ancestors and those we cherish in the beyond. One tug on a string sends love to every one of us woven together in this divine tapestry. And that means just one good deed travels across the entire web. Everything is linked. But sometimes folks forget. When they can't feel their strings, they forget about our invisible web, and that's when strings get tangled up. Like when lonely Louisa isn't invited to sit with anyone at her school at lunchtime, or when sad Stefano wishes his friend Marcos weren't so bossy when they played, or when Mrs. Patel struggles at work without help and she just wants to quit. Even violence and war can erupt when too many of us forget the web. When the strings are ignored, they can become weak and begin to unravel. But the more people who care for the web, the stronger it remains. The web feels like every parent since the beginning of time, holding and protecting each one of us in millions of gentle arms. What could be stronger than all those hands holding us close? So many supportive fingers can always find a way to untangle strings so that love can flow again. But it's up to every one of us to spread the word. Our time is right now. As we tell our family and friends, sisters will remind brothers, who will write to cousins, who will call their great-grandparents, who just nod and smile as if they have always known. If we remember the web and tug at it often, nobody will ever be left out. We will see others more clearly. The people of the world will look into each other's eyes. They will smile at one another, and when one of them cries, they will all want to help. And they do. Marcos apologizes to Stefano, who forgives his friend, and they have even more fun playing. Someone helps Mrs. Patel at work and tells her what a great job she's doing. She remembers that she's important and feels happy. And Louisa feels warm and bubbly inside when a few of the kids in class ask her to join them under the banyan tree for lunch. She knows right then that the invisible web is real. After school, Louisa cries with joy as she strokes her cat, who purrs the news to the stars, and the stars whisper the secret to the clouds, who share it with the songbirds, who serenade the world with this exquisite melody of love at the start of each morning and all during the day, until, as the invisible web glitters in the magic of twilight, the owls take over and hoot the news throughout the night. The invisible web is alive. It is time right now. It breathes as we breathe, pulsating all over our earth, the single heartbeat of life and love. And do you know what that makes us all? One very big family. Thank you to Miss Megan for helping me find this story, and thank you all for being such good listeners. We will sing you on your way.
As we prepare to give our gifts to this church in support of its good works, let us think of our gifts as acts of trust. Trust that giving to this worthy church expresses our gratitude for what it gives to us. Trust that good will come to us, the givers, and trust that our gifts will support the church's mission and ministry in and beyond this church. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service or go to www.savannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Your offerings will now be gratefully received.
Non nobis Domine, tuoda gloriam, 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 tuoda gloriam, non nobis Domine, tuoda gloriam, tuoda gloriam, non nobis Domine, non nobis Domine, Domine, non nobis Domine, Domine, non nobis Domine, 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 tuoda gloria.
You see, I learn. I have my glasses today. So. Okay. We enter a time to share our joys and sorrows with each other. I will start with a sorrow from Steve Hutter for John Havens, a colleague's son who is in the hospital on a respirator and in dire need of a transplant, a liver transplant. And here's an encouraging note from Mary Garofolo. Martha Weaver is home, still a lot of pain. OT and PT are visiting her at home. Roger says still no visitors. Roger is exhausted, but cooking Italian. I sent tulips to Martha. This is good news that Martha is home. And a joy, this is in the department of the birds always sing again, I suppose. Our resident bluebird pair is raising 3 bright blue eggs. Nature is a joy. And then a joy from Vanessa Bathfield. The wedding committee had a positive wedding planner tour on Thursday and did a photo shoot to present spaces for weddings. We are so grateful for the amazing help from a very big team: Scott, Mark, Lily, Joyce, Kevin, Tracy, Gordon, David, and guess who? Reverend Lisa, to help with the transformations. Couldn't have done it without you. Thanks so much. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere. As we mourn together and offer thanks, so may it be now and in all the days to come.
Esto
Let us enter into a spirit of meditation. The words of meditation this morning in the form of a prayer are written by Unitarian Universalist minister George Kimmich Beach. Giver of being and freedom, thou who touches our lives in unforeseen ways, who unsettles our ease and upsets our self-satisfactions, we wait in these moments of stillness to let the hidden processes of healing and growth do their silent work within us, and to let the quiet work of reconciliation be renewed among us. Because we know that the ultimate issues of life, healing and growth, reconciliation and renewal cannot be forced, neither by excess of activity nor by tumult of words. We seek out this stillness. We seek the quiet, the resting place of our restless hearts. Because we live with mystery, we trust that which is deeper than we know, which touches our hearts, which steadies us and rekindles our spirits, which finally, in faith, may be named the love that has laid hold of us and will not let us go. Amen. Our first reading this morning by Sri Chinmoy, ultimately everything becomes boring. Ultimately everything becomes boring. Even great miracles become boring. Even the tremendous powers of the cosmic gods become boring. Even God the omniscient becomes boring. Even God the omnipotent becomes boring. But the God all love never becomes boring. Never. And from Rosemary Watola Tromer, Beyond Sight. All around me, the world was normal. People eating dinner or walking down the street. But my world? Some massive, invisible hand kept capturing me, then tossing me into the air, and I'd somersault and fall and be caught, then placed upright again on the ground. All night it went on like this. I'd be walking, and then I'd be flying, and then I'd be falling, and then I'd be caught, until finally, by morning, we couldn't say that it wasn't disconcerting, but we could say I had become more fluent in this strange upheaval. We could say I had begun to trust the same hand that tossed me would catch me. We could say that when I woke up, I was still myself and nothing felt the same. And though my feet never left the ground today, I was tossed, and then I was caught. Even now, I almost feel them around my chest, those great fingers as they set me on my feet again. Here end the readings. Will you rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 293, O Star of Truth? Leap, and the net will appear, or will it? In just a moment, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand indicating your agreement with one of three statements. When I do so, in addition to raising your hand when you hear the statement you most agree with, take a look around the room to see how many hands are raised for each statement. This is one in a series of questions we ask in our newcomer classes, an activity designed both to help participants discern and articulate their core beliefs and to show the wide range of beliefs in any Unitarian Universalist group. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell the newcomers. Don't worry about definitions or nuance. Don't overthink. Go with your initial gut response. The three statements are, I believe the universe is friendly, I believe the universe is hostile, I believe the universe is indifferent. Okay, ready? Raise your hand if you believe the universe is friendly. Now, raise your hand if you believe the universe is hostile. And now raise your hand if you believe the universe is indifferent. Thank you. Despite urging you to answer from your gut without agonizing over definitions or speculating about nuanced situations, I struggle with this question myself every time I ask others to answer it. Intellectually, I usually land on indifferent, though by that I really mean something closer to neutral. You see, friendly, indifferent, and hostile are human attributes, and it is unwise, I think, to project them onto something as vast and non-human as the entire universe. Yet, despite my intellectual leaning toward neutral, I believe that each of us, including me, consciously or subconsciously lives as though the universe is either friendly or hostile. That is to say, on the whole, each of us either trusts or doesn't trust everything from the rising of the sun to the intentions of strangers, from the findings of science to the authenticity of gestures of kindness. We live either as though we have to be on guard and in control of all possible eventualities, or as though sometimes we can leap and the net will appear. Some claim that that promise is a Zen proverb. Others attribute it to the 19th century naturalist and essayist John Burroughs. Wherever and whenever it originated, it is an enticing promise. It has shown up, among other places, in the lyrics of a Jimmy Buffett song and in Julia Cameron's best-selling book, The Artist's Way. That's wide-ranging appeal. Leap and the net will appear shows up visually in the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, in the scene where Indy steps off a cliff, expecting to fall into an abyss, only to have his foot hit a solid land bridge spanning the chasm between him and the goal of his searching. The bridge that had not been visible because it was constructed of the same stone as the walls of the abyss, a sort of three-dimensional optical illusion. Quitting a job, going back to school, moving to a new city, state, or country, entering committed relationship, becoming a parent, joining the military, ending a relationship, changing careers. Our lives are full of moments that might seem like stepping off a cliff with the real possibility, probability even, that we will fall into an abyss. But often, sooner or later, we take the step anyway, not so much because we believe a net will appear, but because we desire what is on the other side of the abyss so much that taking that step isn't optional. It is required if we are to live the life we are meant to live. Just as Indy wanted to find the chalice, a drink from which would save his father's life, enough to risk his own life by taking that fateful step. So we take the step, we take the leap, and does the net appear? Does our foot land on solid ground? I suppose each of us can point to times in our lives when the net did not appear, when taking that leap resulted in heartbreak or financial hardship or estrangement from family or a crisis of self-doubt, when taking the step entangled us in a relationship or career or business transaction that brought us not closer to but farther from the life we know we are meant to live. Each of us can probably also point to times in our lives when the net did appear, when taking that leap brought us into deeper connection with our family or community, when taking that step opened a way before us toward a meaningful career or purposeful service, toward giving to the common cause and receiving intangible blessings 100-fold beyond what we risked. Probably our answers just now about whether the universe is friendly, hostile, or indifferent were shaped by whether in our individual experience the net has appeared more often than not on balance throughout our lives. I told you a moment ago that when forced to choose, and that's only fair since I ask others to choose, intellectually I consider the universe indifferent or neutral. It simply is, without friendly intent or hostile intent. I just can't get past the folly of ascribing human attributes to something so vastly non-human as the universe. But spiritually and theologically, I want to cast my lot not so much with those who say the universe is friendly, as with those who believe the net will appear. That something, God, the nameless mystery, creation, the spirit of life, perhaps the universe, will catch us when we take bold, seemingly reckless, yet ultimately necessary steps out over the great abysses that dot the landscapes of our lives. I want to cast my lot with the 14th century anchoress and mystic Julian of Norwich, who declared, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." And with 19th century Unitarian preacher Theodore Parker, whose words from an 1853 sermon inspired the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parker wrote, "I do not pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one. My eye reaches but a little way. I cannot calculate the curve and complete the figure by experience of sight. I can divine it by conscience, and from what I see, I am sure it bends toward justice." When I'm not grounding myself sufficiently in prayer, silence, and contemplation, this belief that the net will appear, that all will be well, that the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice, this all strikes me, even me, as naive optimism at best, hollow, disingenuous fantasy at worst. Every day's news, not to mention all of history after all, is filled with stories of times the net didn't appear or wasn't strong enough to catch and cradle to safely the ones who took necessary leaps. Here's the thing I remember, however, when I do sit in prayer and silence, when I read widely among the poets and prophets and people of faith and conviction, when I am in conversation with ministerial peers and eavesdropping on the social media feeds of upcoming generations of brilliant and faithful colleagues, when I am tending to my spirit, I remember that the arc of Theodore Parker's moral universe stretches out beyond the limits of our sight. That it was through conscience, not through strict observation of the political and societal realities of his time, that he believed the arc to bend toward justice. And I remember that Julian of Norwich didn't say when all shall be well, only that it shall be well. Even more than that, when I am grounded in my faith, I remember that Parker didn't promise that the arc would bend without human intervention. In fact, as a staunch abolitionist, he was committed to human action as a means of achieving justice. I know less about Julian of Norwich than I do about Parker, but I choose to believe that her conviction that all shall be well, even if grown out of her mystical experience of Christ, doesn't preclude the possibility that we have a role to play in ensuring that outcome. I recently saw a 2018 clip of Stephen Colbert and Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about supernovas and whether or not they are rare phenomena. DeGrasse Tyson said, if you have a sample size large enough, rare things become common. For days now, I've been trying to figure out if that is a comforting fact or a terrifying one. I've decided to be mostly comforted by it, because being only terrified by it is fatalistic and robs me of the conviction that we have power to bend the arc of the moral universe, to tilt the scale toward all manner of things being well, to be ourselves the net that appears for kin, strangers, neighbors, communities that take bold and necessary leaps. And I refuse to give up that conviction. I believe that we individually and all together in the fullness of time and in ways we may never know and certainly can't fully comprehend, we are the hands that toss, catch, and set upright again our companions on the earth, and indeed toss, catch, and set upright again civilizations and the very future of all that is. I believe we are part and parcel of the God that is all love, created by it and creating it day by day through our living as though, sometimes all evidence to the contrary, living as though the universe is a vast source of blessing, as though a net will catch us when we leap faithfully into our next act of co-creation of the world we want to inhabit. May it be so. Amen. Amen. Jane has our final stewardship moment of this season, and Dorothy and Luke as well. She wants you to go first.
Okay, I'm going to keep this brief. You've heard a lot from me over these past few weeks, but our campaign, The Best of Our Love, is coming to a close. Our goal is $170,000, and we are right around $130,000. So we've got a bit further to go. The pledge form will remain open throughout April. A lot of you will still be hearing from me. And we have paper pledge forms available in Ron Hall at any time. So thank you so much to all of you who have so courageously and generously given in these times to sustain this, our beloved community. Dorothy Holmes and then Luke Higgins want to say a few words. Thank you.
There is so much to say. The challenge is to keep it to a few words. I'll say the standard things as to why I give. Good sermons, good music, beautiful sanctuary, a chance to have tasty snacks after service, wonderfully intellectually bright and warm-hearted people to talk to always. Those are the easy reasons. I even come across the river from Bluffton to do it and have since 2012. I love this church. After 57 years, I started my journey as a psychologist at the tender age of 25, 57 years ago, so that adds up to 82 quickly. And so I feel very blessed and fortunate to be here and to be in good health. However, when I realized that by the end of November of this year, with great ambivalence, I will be retiring finally, that obviously has budget impact. So my first thought was I'm going to have to reduce my pledge. I pledge at a fairly high level that constitutes some sacrifice for me. But then when I realized the troubled times we're in and the problems that so many other people have greater than mine, I decided, nope, not this year, or not next year, looking to the next year. So for this pledge season, I'm keeping my pledge the same. And that will be even more of a sacrifice, but it's good. In these troubled and difficult times, I think of a song I like so much, a spiritual called Wade in the Water. And in that song, there are the lyrics, God will trouble the water. So when you wade in the water, it can't be easy. It won't be easy. So I'm willing to take that chance. I think the net will catch me. And I think this church is a very important net for me. And, you know, we all need what this church offers, not only the good times, not only the intellectual debates. When you ask your question, I raised my hand all 3 times. Because I think the universe, human or not human, whatever it is, varies. And right now, it ain't so good. But there are always counterbalancing forces. This church is one of them. For me, it's my rock. It's an anchor. It's the place to come in dark times. So I'm going to take my chances. I'll just go out to dinner a few less times or whatever and keep my pledge. And I thank this church.
So I'm really, I feel blessed to have the opportunity to say something about why I give to this church. And I'll start with a proviso that I don't give as much as I would like to, and my means are limited at this time in my life. And so I'm incredibly grateful to those of you who do have the means to support this place that is so important to me. But I'll say, for my part, I don't know that I really understood completely what this church meant to me until maybe about 3 or 4 years after I joined, when the bottom fell out of my life. My marriage dissolved. This little nuclear family unit that I think for a lot of us functions as this buffer against a world that can feel hostile dissolved, and I was kind of left to do my parenting just by myself. And that terrified me. So I had this catastrophic, loss of confidence. And this place, this place was the net that held me. It caught me, and it accepted me, and not on the condition that I be healthy or okay, or be functioning very well. But it was there. And the phrase community of trust, and I really didn't plan this to match up with the Soul Matters theme, but it does. It was a community of trust to me, right, where I could show up here, with my son, and not have to do it alone for a couple hours, to know that he would be not just safe, but cared for and loved, and be given values that were dear to me, that I didn't have to do that alone. Meant a lot to me. And so a community of trust, the reason why it could be that way is because this is a place that holds some of the deepest values and ideals that are precious to me and that I feel like we hold together, and we help each other learn about and deepen into those values. It doesn't just hold them, it sustains them, it transmits them, it enacts them. And those ideals have a lot to do with trust, and a kind of trust, not just the kind of trust where I trust people that look like me or who sound like me. We're trying to, exercise that muscle of trust. And when you do that and you get some practice there, that's where the real hard work of inclusion comes from. And inclusivity is work. It is not easy. And you need to do it together with other people in a community of trust. And I feel that we don't always, we haven't mastered that game yet, okay? We have some work to do, but we're trying, and that counts for an awful lot, you know? And part of that inclusion means that there is no one in my life in this town who I care about, no matter what their religious background, no matter how much they've been traumatized by whatever religious experience they've had, where I can't feel good about inviting them here and not worrying that they're going to feel alienated by what people say. There's a place here. And do you know how rare that is? I don't think there's another church in town where you could say that. Could you really? You know? And lastly, and this is in some ways the most important and personal, is a community of trust enables vulnerability. And I've had a lot of grieving to do. And I don't want to be doing that all by myself all the time. And a community of trust is a place where I can come, and a lot of what I do here, you know, is I let myself grieve. And part of it, you know, Lisa has some astoundingly, you know, beautiful poem. And I sit up there in the choir loft, and a lot of it's pretty, like, you know, physical. Like, I'm just, like, weeping, you know? And I know, like, a lot of you can see me up there with tears pouring down my face, you know? Sometimes I get self-conscious, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that, because I trust you to hold a place for me to do that here. And grief for me is a kind of prayer, like a type of prayer. Not the only kind, but it's an important kind. So I'm so grateful that I can do that here, that I don't have to do that alone. And by the way, there's a lot of grieving we have to do together, and we need each other to do that grief. The world is in a very scary place right now, and a lot of what we need to do is grieve things that we're losing. And if we do it try and do it alone, it'll crush us. So I think this is going to be more and more important. And just a last call out to our leadership, our pastoral leadership, who, you know, without even knowing what they've been through, you can hear in the credibility with which they lead that they understand the valley of the shadow, which is a place that I've spent some time. And the light that they guide us through that valley with is authentic for that reason. You know, Megan and Lisa know. They do. I know that they know. And so that's part of what allows me to trust this place as a spiritual home and trust all of you. And the more we give that trust, the more you feel it, you know, and you feel trusted. And then it's like, you know, it's all reciprocal. It's this web, you know, that we're creating. So I thank you all for that, for everything that you all have been to me. And I hope you'll join me in giving as much as you can, you know. And if it's not your treasure, your time, your talents. So thank you.
Oh, take me, take me, take me to the water. Oh, take me, take me, take me to the water. Oh, take me, take me, take me to the water.
Go with faith, not the kind that is called to move mountains, but the quieter sort that calls us to take the first step, even when the whole staircase sits beyond our view. As we stride toward the unseen, may we notice that the way unfolds only as we risk traveling it. And may we remember and trust that none of these steps are ones we take alone. Amen.